Hi, today I wanted to introduce you to Adobe Bridge. It is a wonderful kind of connecting software. It's used mainly when it was first invented. It was a great way to organize your photographs, batch process them, do things like that. I still like to use it, but you don't get it with just the Photoshop purchase. You have to buy the Creative Suite in order to be able to download this app. I love it. You could think about it if you want to purchase it, or if you did buy the suite, go ahead and download this app. It's really great. It's down here, looks like the BR. Let's find the photograph. So I go to my computer again because I store my images on a external hard drive. So there it is. Let's get it going, making it think. And then just waiting it for it to upload. I kind of back up everything on this, and Photo Mine is where I've got some images. So let me just tell you about this workspace. The way it is connected is if you double click on an image, it will automatically open in Photoshop. Now again, I'm just looking at thumbnails here, and if I want to adjust the size, down at the bottom here you have a little toggle, and so you can increase the size of the images. My eyes are getting worse and worse. You can also manipulate how big, whoops, there we go. You know, all of these can be adjusted, how big you want them, if you want your, less of that, more images. And then you can get a really nice look at what you think your best images are for whichever assignment we're doing. The first assignment is the scavenger hunt, and so I'm just going to pick two images that I'll use as demonstration for this. So I'm going to do the interior one, and then this beautiful salad. And then, so just double click, and here we are in Photoshop, and it opens them both up. Here we go, 1 and 2. So when you're submitting things for Blackboard, there are requirements that I need you to follow. The first thing is, when you're submitting things online, you never want to submit a high quality image online. People can download your image and print it and pretend it's theirs. So one reason is to protect your work. You don't want to put a high res image out there. The other reason is that it just opens and much faster, it travels faster. And our typical computer screens are about 100 pixels per inch, give or take. Now, if you're a gamer and you have the whole setup, that's a whole different world. But typically, a laptop, it's about 100 pixels per inch. So we have to resize our images so that they upload properly. So to do that, you go to the Image tab along the top, scroll down to Image Size, click Image Size. Then this wonderful window opens up. It shows us a little preview of the center of the photograph, and then it gives us some information. Now, when a photograph is opened in the Photoshop program, it's a much larger file because it's including the program and all that is included with the program. So the image size right now says 22.9 megapixels. We're going to change that. So we have it fitting to original size. I don't want to compress the shape, and so you always want your height and your width to be locked together. Do you see how they're locked? But the one thing I want to change is the proportions. Now here under resolution, if yours says 300, click or uncheck resample. When resample is unchecked, now you have the resolution, height, and width all locked together. So if you change one, it'll redistribute all of them. So right now I'm looking at a 45.3 inch by 34 inch by 72 resolution. And actually 72 pixels per inch is what we want for the internet. So since mine doesn't say 300 or sometimes it'll say 150, and it's really determined by your camera, what it usually sets to. But 72 pixels per inch, which it says right here, is what we want to resize it to. But this is just huge. Imagine how big 45 inches by 34. We don't need it that big. So if your resolution is anything other than 72, just highlight that and then plug in 72. Then click resample so the box is checked. And now all that's locked together is your height and width. So let's get that under a reasonable size. My kind of goal is that the largest dimension be 10 inches, whether that's the width or the height. So in my case, because it's a horizontal image, my width is higher than my height. So I'm just going to highlight that and change it to 10. Okay, because the height is linked in and locked together, it automatically just determines what the height will be when the width is at 10 inches. Okay, again, the resolution is at 72. This is going from a 22.9 megapixel to a 1.1. And that's exactly what we want, something very small. Again, so no one can steal our image and it goes across the internet really fast. And then what is going to happen when I click OK, the computer is going to show me what I've just done. So I'm going to click OK, and you see my image went from larger to smaller. It gives you that visual clue of what you've just done. So if you made a mistake and you accidentally made it bigger, it's going to enlarge, and you can always just go to File, undo image size. Sorry, I was spacing out there. So to undo it. Okay, so let's do that one more time. Image size. If your resolution is already at 72, you can just leave it as it is and just adjust the largest dimension to 10 and click OK. If your resolution is at something different, you need to resample, change the resolution, then click resample and OK. Now the thing about this is the pixels are malleable. The bits of information that make up our image, we can kind of control how they're used in the digital file. So we want to make sure that we know what we're doing. So this one, we have done it. The next thing you do when you're getting ready to submit your 2 images, you go to File, Save As. Now you always do Save As because we may want to print this tomato salad at one point, and we don't. If we just do a save and we cover our original image, it's going to be too low quality to print. So I'm going to save a copy. I'm saving a different version of this. And so I go to Save As. And then again, remember this is a Mac, so your window may look different. So the way I want you to title your work, you can see it's already kind of highlighted. And so I just hit the delete key or backspace, to get rid of it. It still has the .jpeg, which is what we want. So I want you to do the assignment name first, scavenger hunt. I'm just playing here. And then I'll do, no spaces, mace. And then the indicator, so I know what it is, I'm just going to put salad. Okay. I want it to go into where all my photographs are. You can create a new subfolder, maybe, you can call it your photo projects, you can call it whatever you want. The format we want though is JPEG. A JPEG is that universal file format that can be opened on any computer. You don't need special software. Okay, so we want to double check that it's a JPEG. And then this is fine, and the embedded color profile is fine. And click Save. Okay, this is just another JPEG compression box. You can just OK through it. We already used Photoshop to resize our photo. We don't need to change anything else. So click OK. All right, so now you can see up here on my tab, even the title has changed. Okay, let's do this to the second one. Okay, so again, let's check the image size. So we go to image, image size, take a look here. Okay, so this one is close to the dimensions that I am asking you to do, but look at the resolution is 300. So let's uncheck the resample, and then all three are loaded together. And I can do 72, check that, and my highest dimension here this time is the height because it's a vertical. Make 10 inches, and we're good to go. Okay, and just click OK. All right, I'm going to do that one again. Okay, so this is a vertical image. Go to Image tab at the top, down to Image Size, and then let's take a look at what we got here. The other thing, you can just go ahead and change this to 72 and this to 10 because we are making it smaller. Whoops, how did it go to? There we go. And that's fine too. But sometimes you don't want to do that. You want to use the best quality you can, and so just make sure, just try a couple different ways and just see if you can tell the difference. Okay, all right, so there we go, and click OK. And there we've made the image smaller. Now if you use the zoom here, which I happen to be on that tool, I click in, you can't really tell the difference. We've just removed some pixels so that we can still see what the images is. I can see if it's in focus. I can tell what you photographed. But then if we zoom in too much, we can start to see how it's starting to pixelate and break down. So this, on the computer, we can't notice it so much. But if you were to print this, it would be very obvious. And if you've ever printed, kind of stolen something off the internet and try to print it, you will recognize that the quality was never very good. Okay, so we have changed the size. We need to save this one again. File, save as. I don't know why my computer's going slow. Then I'm going to do scavenger hunt, mace, oops, and this I'm going to do LR, living room. Okay, again, it's going into my photos. Make sure you know where you're putting your photographs. The format is JPEG. I click save, and I just OK through this JPEG compression box. All right, so now we need to upload these. That will be on the next video.